Did the NFL turn to the NBA overnight? Like, serious, that's a serious question. Did the NFL turn to the NBA overnight? Because watching the trade deadline was like watching the NBA trade deadline. Seeing everybody out here making moves, they trading and willing and dealing and getting better, or tanking or doing whatever it is they gotta do, making all type of moves, doing everything they gotta do, crazy. Everybody changing teams just like in the NBA. Everybody making moves, getting better or getting worse, except them Houston Texans. Mm-mm-mm. What else is new? What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sport topic, and today we're gonna talk some football, Houston Texans football. Today we're gonna talk about Brandin Cooks in the trade deadline. Did the Texans make a mistake by not trading Brandin Cooks? We're going to talk about, we're going to break it down. But before we get in there, like I've been telling you before, if you're liking the content, man, hey, make sure you're liking the channel. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel. Make sure you're watching all the videos. You comment on all the videos. You sharing all the videos on all social media platforms. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, any type of social media platform you use. Make sure you share it on the same social media platforms. Also, follow me on social media as well. The links in the description below. Man, make sure you hit up them links. Make sure y'all like, y'all share, y'all subscribe to the channel. Y'all get the channel growing and growing and growing. I really, really appreciate that. I know I've been gone for a minute, but I'm back like I ain't never left with some more videos. So don't worry, man. The heat is coming. Don't worry. The heat's coming. We're going to talk about some stuff. We're going to break down. I think the Texans might have squandered the opportunity. Because now everybody watched the game on Sunday against the Titans, and everybody seen the body language with Brandin Cooks. Now, Brandin Cooks is actually kind of a weird person to read body language because when you watch him any other time, like he always look angry. Like you watch him and his facial expression, even when he scored touchdowns, he always look angry. Like I guess it's just how he plays. But that game was a little bit different. Like I said, it was a one play, probably David Mills' best throw of the game, might be David Mills' best throw of the season. He threw it right where it was supposed to be, a perfect target ball that would have made at the very least a first down. It would have very least made a first down. But if not made a first down, it would if not for just a first down, if not a big play, Brandin Cooks never turns around and looks at it. And you know, anytime a miscommunication, somebody's throwing up their hands or be like, "My bad, bro, that's on me." Brandin Cooks just because it's third down. Brandin Cooks walks off the field. Goes, sits down. Nobody goes and says nothing to him. Ain't no coaches going up to him coaching. Davis Mills ain't getting into his face. He's not getting into the coach's face like, hey, my bad, I messed up. What could we do better? Ain't nobody looking at no footage. So it was clear that he's mentally checked out. And he was checked out the whole game like a lot of people were during the game because how bad the game was. But with Brandin Cooks, it was a little bit different. And you heard the rumors coming in. You heard the Cowboys in the mix. You heard the Green Bay in the mix. I think Buffalo was in the mix. The Rams were in the mix. Teams like that were in the mix, supposedly about making phone calls to the Houston Texans to acquire Brandin Cooks. I said this weeks ago. If I'm Nick Caserio, like this might have been like after week 3. If I'm Nick Caserio, I'm looking at the Chiefs, looking at Green Bay, I'm looking at Buffalo, I'm looking at Tampa, I'm looking at I say Kansas City. I didn't really think about the Rams because he's already played this. I didn't think maybe they probably wouldn't want another reunion. And then even Dallas, on the short list of teams that might possibly need another receiver, need a big threat. Hey, you can even throw the Titans in the mix if you want to. Like any other team that needs a receiver. And like I said, if you can get, obviously we want a second round pick, but if you can't get a second pick, if you get a third, even a fourth at this point, you take those type of deals. And it seems like they waited too late. They were a day late and a dollar short. And Nick Caserio didn't make the move quick enough. Now, I think part of the reason why the move, not part of the reason, I think the main reason why the move did get made is because of Brandin Cooks' contract. Brandin Cooks signed a 2-year extension this offseason and went up to, at the time, I don't know if he's still there now, but I know at the time he was either 9th or 10th. He was top 10. So he was either 9th or 10th. And actually, I think when he signed the contract, I think he was like 8th. And then some other people got some deals, like, because I think he signed this contract before Tyreek Hill got traded and signed his contract. So I know Tyreek Hill bumped him down. He was making $19 million per year, averaging $19 million per year, and they got him into the top 10 category as a salary. And if you look at his contract, I think he will be this year he's only a $9 million cap hit. But if you cut him, his dead cap will be 43. So obviously he's not getting cut. Next year, his cap hit is 26.6 million, and if he gets cut, his dead cap will be 34 million. And then in 2024, his cap hit will be 24 million. Now, if you cut him, then that year you can cut him because his dead cap is only 8, which means his dead cap will be is lower than his dead cap is lower than his actual cap hit from being on the roster. So you obviously will you could benefit from cutting him. But so obviously he's not getting cut. Past the trade deadline, came and went, didn't get traded. It seems to me that it was probably the money issue, and the Texans didn't want to eat up enough of the salary. Things I never understood. Things I never understood why those deals get hung up if teams don't want to eat, because teams don't want to eat the salary cap. This is my thing. I never understood. Now, unless you're making a trade strictly to get rid of salary, like if you're making a trade to clear up cap, obviously you don't want to eat no cap because you're making a trade. Trying to get cap relief, so you're trying to move on the cap. It's like because more than likely, if you're making the move for cap reasons, you actually would rather keep the player if you could, but it's a cap situation, so that's why they do try to get restructures to get cap relief, whatever the case may be. But in this situation, both you and Brandin Cooks clearly want to move away. You both want to separate. You both want to get this deal done. You're gonna be paying him anyway, so he's on your cap regardless because he's on your roster. You're going to be paying him. You're gonna be paying him. So unless you get the deal done before next season hits, when that cap hit goes up to 26 million, you should have just gone ahead. You're gonna eat the salary regardless. You might as well eat the salary. Might as well eat it. Might as well if it's a part of the salary. If you're eating 75% of it, it's still better. It's still better than eating the whole thing and having to disgruntled player. And this way, you at least get some draft capital. Now, I do believe if you're eating the majority if all the cap, then you should be getting compensated second to third round picks. Which, to be honest, I'd rather have the second or the third round pick. And especially in this draft right here, especially what you see with this run defense, what you see with the quarterback play, what you see with the weapons around, because you can replace Brandin Cooks easily in this draft. Josh Downs out of North Carolina, Addison, but Addison you probably going to get in the first round out of USC. There's guys. I mean, Wyatt from Tennessee, he's right up the board. But I think both Addison and Downs both actually kind of look like Brandin Cooks, and at least Downs, if not Addison, because Addison definitely a big play guy at USC, but Downs from North Carolina might be a little bit more explosive than Brandin Cooks. And you could probably get him probably in the back half of the first round, top of the second round. So obviously a second or third round pick will actually help you in this situation because you could package because you already have two third round picks, package a couple thirds or whatever the case may be to jump up to make sure you get and secure that type of player, especially if you're drafting a quarterback with one of your first 2 picks in the first round. So that is what should have been done. That's what you should have done. You should have ate the cap, able to get the deal done because Brandin Cooks, I know if they can replace Brandin Cooks, why would they trade? If the Texans can replace Brandin Cooks with the trade, in the draft, why would these teams give up the draft capital to get Brandin Cooks? Because Brandin Cooks would be more beneficial to Green Bay, especially the Chiefs, especially Dallas, more even Tampa Bay, the Rams in this situation, the Giants in this situation, the Bills, because these are all teams outside of Green Bay that are either division leaders or very strong playoff appearances. Like obviously the Bills and the Chiefs, probably the 2 best teams in the AFC. Dallas, they're not the best team in the NFC or in the division because of the Eagles, but they're definitely a playoff team. Both Tampa and the Rams are looking to be playoff teams or hoping to be playoff teams. The 49ers, hoping to be playoff teams. The Rams have fallen off, but they're still in the mix, especially in the NFC because the NFC is so wide open. Green Bay is the only team that's just really on the downward, but they have Aaron Rodgers. And you get Aaron Rodgers, and maybe if you get a talent like Brandin Cooks, who still he's only 28 years old, so I believe he still has a lot left in the tank. You give him Brandin Cooks. You give Brandin Cooks Aaron Rodgers, and vice versa. You get Aaron Rodgers somebody speedy like Brandin Cooks who could do things with the ball in his hands. Once he get in the open field, and somebody like Aaron Rodgers, who's probably one of the most accurate football throwers that we've ever seen in this game. you get him that type of situation, he could pay off dividends. And do you really trust Minnesota? Because Minnesota was like 6-1, 6-2, or something like that. Do you really trust Minnesota? I think I don't even know if they played Green Bay yet, but you think that possibly Aaron Rodgers can get it going. So that's why they will make. That's why those teams will make those moves. And obviously, they wouldn't be giving up first round picks. They would be giving up at best second, but more likely third, maybe a fourth or two, whatever the case may be. But that will still help the Texans in the back end. And I would be, if I'm the Texans, I would have took on the cap, because you're going to take on the cap regardless, because he's on the roster now. He's definitely on the roster, so you're definitely going to take on the cap unless you move on from him before next year. Because if you unless you move on from next year, because you're not going to cut him, his dead cap, if you cut him next year, is over $40 million. So you're not cutting him. He ain't getting cut. So he's either going to be traded or he's going to be a Texan. And then he goes out there and he's sending out these weirdo tweets talking about he's tired of being the company man and all this. Just like I said, to me, like, I wanted Brandin Cooks traded last year. Newsflash. And I like Brandin Cooks last year. And I'm like, okay, it'd be more beneficial to get. I recognize exactly when the writing was on the wall and that you were going to move on from Deshaun Watson. When everything said that you knew you were going to move, when they found out, okay, you're going to move on from Deshaun Watson. You need to get all the draft capital you can from the Deshaun Watson trade and get any draft capital that you can going forward. I understand, Larry Tunsil was a building block, but if you was able to get a first-round pick for Larry Tunsil, I would have did that too. Because sometimes you got to strip it all the way down and rebuild all the way back up. And I have no problem with that. That's why I'm not tripping on wins and losses. I'm not tripping on wins and losses with Texas. People want to go out there and say, your boy a hater. I'm not a hater. I'm just a realist. And I understand that sometimes you gotta take a step 2 or 3 back before you make leaps forward. You gotta crawl before you walk. All those different type of analogies and slogans are very true in this type of sense. You have to understand exactly where you at, and I understand exactly where the Texans are at. Trust me, I'm a huge Texas fan. I wouldn't be doing this channel if I wasn't, but I understand the situation that the Texans are in, and I'm saying if you want to get better, you got to have talent around. You got to get talent in the building, from coaching, from talent on the field, from good coaching talent. And sometimes the best way to get talent on the field, well, you ain't got to worry about, there's 2 ways to get talent on the field, and that's paying somebody. But sometimes you got to overpay to bring on talent. Ain't really in the business for that. Or getting a lot of draft capital, having high picks in the draft, and getting the much draft capital as you possibly can, and able to get young, youthful talent like Darius Stingley, like Petrie, like Kenyon Green, like Dameon Pierce. Get those type of young dogs, young hogs up in here that can help change the culture and get you into a winning format. Dameon Pierce in his first couple of games was top 5 in rushing. Only reason why he got moved out of top 5 because Texas had a bye week already, and then this past week we did him a huge disservice but not run the football because of how putrid the offense was. So other than that, Dameon Pierce is definitely, I'm not saying he's a top 5 back in the league yet. I think he has potential to be that, but he was definitely top 5 rushing, clearly hands down, because that's where he was before, like I said, the bye week, and also you not giving him the ball for some strange reason in this past game. And obviously the way Darius Stingley been playing, the way Petrie's been playing, you know what I'm saying? So you've seen the flashes and you've seen the good things that these young rookies have done in a small sample size. So you want to get back to the well of doing that. So you want to get as much draft capital as you possibly can. One of the ways to do that was moving on from Brandin Cooks. And I thought you should have sold Brandin Cooks last year, should have traded him last year, like when his value was high. He's having a bad season. He only has like 300 some yards. His highest yard game, I think, was like 80 yards this season. Like he has not had a good season statistically. One, because the Texans have not had a good offensive season this past year. Texas have not had a good season this year. So obviously you're not going to get good statistics when you're not going to get good statistics when it comes to that. If Brandin Cooks has 32 catches for 343 yards and 1 touchdown in 7 games. 300 yards, 350 yards, and 1 touchdown, 7 games. Started all 7 games, played all 7 games, ain't missed no game. Ain't missed none of the games. One, I don't believe he's interested. Two, he doesn't have a good quarterback in Davis Mills. Three, he's in a bad offensive system like Pep Hamilton. I understand all that. But these are all things that he knew and was cool with when he was, I ain't getting traded. And I ain't accepting no more trades. When everything was weird and funky with Deshaun Watson and David Culley getting hired and all the weird stuff that was going on, the possibly hiring Josh McCown and just all the weird stuff that we've been seeing for the past 2 years, he was cool with that. Then we let go with Jack Easterby, relieved Jack Easterby of his duties, which everybody I think everybody across the board, people who are very critical of the Texans, people who are overly optimistic about the Texans, everybody was happy and excited that Jack Easterby was let go. I really don't remember seeing anybody that was against Jack Easterby being let go a couple weeks ago from the Texan fan base. But Brandin Cooks was. And now he wants to trade. Now his body language is different. Now he definitely act like he doesn't want to be there. Cause we can sit there. Well, maybe it's Pep Hamilton. Maybe it's Davis Mills. Maybe that's the reason why. He knew Pep Hamilton 2 weeks ago. How his offense was looking. We've been complaining about his offense since week 1. People been complaining about Davis Mills since last year. He knew all this going in before he signed that contract this offseason. But he was cool with that because Jack was here. Jack get relieved. Now he's speaking out on the Texans or speaking out about Jack Easterby. He liking tweets about him getting traded. Dude don't want to be here. Let dude go. Let dude go. Like I said, I understand what the Texans are trying to do. Couldn't get too angry with the whole Dameon Pierce not being in the red zone when we got the turnover, because obviously, like I said, the Texans newsflash, Texans are trying to lose, y'all. Like, they're not trying to win games, because if they're trying to win games, Dameon Pierce will be on the field going into the end zone after Nelson got the interception. But back to what I said about the play, when he on first down, when he doesn't turn around and look for the ball and he don't get a my bad, a wrong route, whatever, he goes to the sideline, nobody talks to him, he's sitting down just chilling. If the Texans were a competent franchise and really were focused on winning, Lovie Smith would have pulled. Lovie Smith would probably not even pull. Lovie Smith would have met Brandin Cooks on the field. Bro, what the blank you doing? What was that? It's third down. The ball right there. You're not even looking. You're not even looking. It's different if you look at you're not even looking. Then you're not even at least give me respect. Like, oh man, my bad, coach. I ran the wrong route. Let's say, well, maybe you messed up. You made an accident. You read the coverage wrong. Whatever, miscommunication. I can tell you don't want to be here. You know what? Standing right here beside me, you ain't doing nothing else. You know what? Better yet, hey man, go ahead and pull a AB. Go ahead, go. Go ahead, go. You cool. Go ahead and go. Go ahead and go. And then in the press conference, I'm letting it be known he's deactivated, like they did Keyshawn Johnson, like they did Randy Moss, like the Dallas did T.O., like these teams have done with actual superstar receiver, Hall of Fame receivers. Well, Keyshawn not Hall of Fame, but Keyshawn was #1 overall pick and Super Bowl champion. T.O. and Randy Moss, probably two best receivers in NFL history. I know Jerry Rice. People feel about Jerry Rice, but T.O. and Moss were those dudes, obviously Hall of Famers, and had those same type of treatment. Brandin Cooks don't hold a candle to none of those. I don't think Brandin Cooks even made a Pro Bowl. The biggest thing that Brandin Cooks ever brought to the table is that he's been traded for a first round pick multiple times. And I guess you could look at that as good and bad, because bad that he's always getting traded, but then good that he's always getting traded for first round picks. It's like he's getting traded for third and fifth round picks. He's always getting traded for high value picks. And even when he came to the Texans, the time he wasn't traded for a first round pick, it was a second round pick. So he's still always getting traded for top echelon talent or top echelon draft capital. So that's the only thing that he's bringing to the table for his career. So he's not above of getting deactivated, and that's exactly what would have been happening if I was running the team, or if this was a competent franchise and they were trying to win, and he was acting like that. Because he ain't no like I said, move the Hall of Famers. He ain't no Hop. He no Antonio Brown. You know what I'm saying? He's none of these guys that put work. Yeah, he's had a couple 1,000-yard seasons. I know he's had 1,000-yard season in every team he's been with. That's cool. That's nice. But he's barely. If you look at his 1,000-yard season, they right at 1,000 yards. They ain't 1,300, 1,400, 1,500 yards all pro seasons. They not like that. He ain't getting it like that. So he don't want to be here. Cool, because he's on some weird stuff anyway. Let him go and collect draft capital. Collect $200, collect some draft capital, and you go out there and use that to build your team. I believe that Nick Caserio has squandered the opportunity. Now, can he pick it back up? I don't know. I really don't know, because with that contract, I really don't see no team trading for him in the offseason, because like I just said, they could just draft somebody. They could draft receivers in the draft. The time to trade him would be now, because these teams, the Chiefs, the Giants, the Tampa Bay, Dallas, the Bills, the Rams, Green Bay. These teams are in the thick of a playoff hunt. They would have been more valuable. He would have been more valuable to them than any other team in the offseason. Like, subscribe if you haven't, comment below if you haven't, click that bell, get more videos. Holla. I know you see it though. Hey. I know you see it. I know you see people say I don't wear text and get no more. I know you see it. I know you see it. Hey, I know you see it. I know you see it. I holla.